On to occasions, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, just to be specific, this is actually, let's say, questions and answers towards those completed areas that you are seeing here. We're gonna be answering a lot of questions, and that is QAs to do with the with these areas. You know, this is Khartoum, okay, Khartoum, and then for which now we have the people who left this area because you know is a touching. If you see is a touching, this line here, this division here is all touching, if you see. And then we try now, we isolated there, you can see, and that isolation has been understood right there over Khartoum. That's why if you look with this violent or with the ceasefire issues, some people feel they are easy, they can act as a negotiator, and that's why they are able. Okay, when you see they are able, because this division here is not looking 100% accurate. So we need is if we can have this land which they divide down there, it will be the same line as 7th, right there as 7th. Okay, that's why if you look, the modification here we have coordinating, that's their coordination with the Juba area. Khartoum and Juba, are they coordinative? Yes. If and why are they coordinative? That is the reasons we're gonna be talking about here. So let's just have a seat and then see into it how we can chart those issues into details. Okay, so charting those matters into details, of course, there are quite areas of the so-called issue and Sudan. Okay, let's say Sudan was all along. If you look, is all along confused by this and by the line which is down here, the line which is down here, the down one, the down map. Note this one there, this one there is up right there. You can see up, and then there is a map down there, source. Okay, they are the one confused, and the source are the who. That could be the rebel. That's the SPLA people. So these SPLA people, they are not easy because they are not easy to understand the importance of Sudan. Okay, because they are rebel. Okay. So now having these people, we have people now from Khartoum. These days they moved to Juba because of the war that took place on the 15th, and then on 16th, and then on 17th. Okay, so now there are some people fearing to hear loud guns fire, so they are able to go and register in around Juba. Now when they are crossing to be registered around Juba on their crossway, these SPLA people in Juba or in Baragazal regions, they were able to threaten some of them, and then these people they ask them, where do you guys really actually come from? Some of them they're saying they're from Bentu, from different regions of the these areas where the Dingas and Nueris normally resides, or the villages are, or their cities or their towns are. Okay, so is a little bit outside Juba, okay, and outside the Equatorial regions. But if you look, Equatoria is 100%. For those Equatorians, they are 100% the Sudanese there. So the Dingas and Nuer, that is, let's say it, these people we put in the middle. They want currently we put in the middle but they are still the one still having that South Sudan border with those five countries. When we mean the borders, that is Ethiopia, that is Kenya, Uganda, DRC, Central Africa. They still have that border as their own, and they are claiming seriously their border with the Sudan, and they are claiming the Sudanese refugees who left there around 15th, around 16th, 17th as a Sudanese from Khartoum. Now they are pretending, and they are trying to register them as a Sudanese, and they're registering them as another country, not a Sudanese, in Juba. You see, now this is the situation. So this is the questions that were asked to us, because we account seriously, we have the responsibilities there. There are some accountabilities here. We have a lot of editings here, and those editings enable us that we can answer on behalf of the government. Even we can answer some questions that are relevant, and then we can ignore some irrelevant questions. So that's why we are able to come and answer those relevant questions because of that. You see, so altering these people so that they can accept down there they are South Sudanese, not a Sudanese. You see, and then for the Equatorian people in Juba, entirely the Equatorian people, 50% Equatorians, they are actually Sudanese, Equatorian Sudanese, and then 50%, if you see, they are backfired. They are backfired, seriously backfired, and never gonna be confessed, never gonna be baptized, never gonna be whatever you bring a pastor from Norway or a pastor from USA, the pastor or the priest cannot change them to Sudan. So those people, they have their ideologies, unless we use the tactics that they are rebel, they are registered rebel, 50% or 100% rebels. Let them concentrate rebels, and then we choose those people that are Sudan, uh, Juba, Sudan, wanted to be turned or convinced that seriously that they can unite as a Sudanese with the Khartoum people and become strong there as a Sudanese. But if this is not enough, and then these people, they're gonna be using what they call a weapon on these people, a gun on these people, we look at that future of the SPLA around 1989 war, that flee the first refugees to Uganda, the first refugees to those neighboring areas where they cut Kenya, and then you name it. These people, they left there. Okay, they are most of them, they are militias, Sudanese militias, and then there are some among them, they are SPLAs. So now some of those guys, they cannot relay staying there as a militia over this country, because they are forced away by this kind of the SPLA. Now the move in of the Sudanese from Khartoum around the Juba here now is like we are seeing the South Sudanese women, and then their youth, they are trying to run away from these Khartoum people. They are saying, Khartoum people, come here, and then what do you want? They are trying to change them to this one, to baptize them to be a Sudanese again. They begin running, and then that's why if you look, they are defeated this one Khartoum. They have their weapon as a militia. They move with this group. Okay, some of them move with these refugees that are supposed to be registered around Juba. Okay, they move there, and then some of these military try to catch few of these people, and then they try to ask them what is really not happening. We are all Sudanese. Why you people, you cannot listen to us? You see, what because their behavior is the arrogance, and then their behavior is not 100% fair there. If you see, so they want to take advantage that this area down here, uh, the Sudan down there, which they cut as a source, is a country. And then unless these people come there and registered as another country, that's not possible. You can see there the Sudan, the entire Sudan has their version, which is D7. What is D7 really doing there? We are trying to unite that land, which is right there, because we give it temporary to these people, because we know that the guy is a child born by within our families, that the SPLA is born from our families. And then if we have 50 children there, in that particular area, and then at least around 50 children, you cannot make all of them blessed. That is the most arrogant that has been chosen away from those important children that are available right there. So on which in long suffering he suffered, and then our elders, let's say it from the Sudan communities, try to understand, and then they went till they put this former president Omar al-Bashir till to this one, to Trabino, and then interfacing that they should raise this or promote this SPLA to another chapter, which they are calling a CPA kind of situations. You see, so that is a barely addition, barely a consequence to the Sudanese at large. So making it a matter worse. And then how do they said, how can we be a help to you guys? And then on the help side, and then they're saying to have a peace, they want this much land and then this much land. And then why that they cannot make the entire Sudan? What kind of a faith? What kind of a pastor? What kind of a priest, a church priest? Okay, could such kind of a people be in the showing example to a large number of people, to bring people united, and then make people understand that this is regards an achievement, will be achievement at the end, because they're not investing achievement, they invested a paper which will be toasted off, and then which will be toasted, and then which will be disrespected at the end, because they have a consequence, because they have disadvantages. All along disadvantages, people are listing off their disadvantages. If you see here, this is a questions and answers which listing all the disadvantages of these South Sudan confusions, which he said, yeah, we need this much roadblocks. Okay, so that they can steal more money and then go rich. So in the rose up, we know was around 2011 they signed, and then they block out these 5 countries. They bought away these 5 countries and then making this one internally Sudan a safer this one is stealing and looting. They are looting Khartoum, and then they will escape to where? To this area. And then once they loot, they are overlooted, and then some people able to run with them. Now they got confused, because they follow them up to where they go. And then now that is when you are seeing this kind of SPLA youth that we found around Juba, and we see around Juba that are running. This morning they are running because they are saying, yeah, these people already catching them. They feel embarrassed because they're speaking their dialect, which is Dinga from Baragazal, and is not saved. So it's not saved. That's why if you look what can the decision, what can this achievement yield around this one, around Sudan? Does this ceasefire gonna be a long term a peace for the Sudan? Does we emphasis this which you are seeing here, the 7 emphasis of the Sudan, which is configuring that we have 1/7 the one Sudan map, that will emphasize that people are forced, all forced, and all must face the copyright policy of Sudan. Because if you look, the few that move to Juba, they're supposed to be respected, those Sudanese. If they live there in Juba, their name should not be changed to South Sudanese. And except if those people who work there, those rebels who work there in Juba, they say to that people, let them be that people. But that border which they cut right there, the 5 countries which they block there, should remain a Sudan and must be open as a Sudan. That is the mission here for those refugees, whatever they gonna be long term healing in with the UN, and then they should know is they will have a backup policies and negotiations, and their negotiations till may result in these 7 implementation or launching around the Sudan larger map, and then which will reimburse these 5 captured borders back to Sudan. Okay, so the intervals here is not really unbalanced. Is not movement. Is steadiness, and is steadiness which must be a long-term process and a long-term yielding. So it must yield where within the Juba as a Sudan, and for which on the other areas of the site that we found, because the news was very unbalanced, and the news from Juba is going accelerating the violence right there. And if you see our news is going very accelerating the Juba as a violent field. You see, so this is the situations. Like we have a bad heart for these kind of people. We don't have the respects. So if you look at the respects, okay, we don't have the respects. If you turn to the Juba people, what the first they first introduced to you that they are South Sudanese, we feel disrespectful, and then we feel we can fight right away with them. If now we told these people we are Sudanese and we stay in Uganda, we say this from Kenya, we say this from Ethiopia, we say this from Kenya, we say this from Uganda, we say this from DRC, we say this from Central Africa, we are Sudanese, and then we come from Juba, we are Sudanese in Juba. The guy feeling that they must box me and then they must put a gun on me. You see. Now, what is my purpose? Of course, this is Sudan. Khartoum is Sudan, my Sudan. Juba is my Sudan. And then wherever is Malakal must be my Sudan, Lokchokyo, or wherever I speak in Tori, or wherever I speak in Yei, in Yambio, or wherever in Darfur should be my Sudan. And then why that I cannot use it? You see, that's why if you look on those 2 areas, you are seeing we have a long-term disrespect. And that disrespect is built because of these rebel groups. And those rebel groups are led majorly by the SPLM. Okay? That is SPLA, and then with the SPLA pushes the control, and then they've been in the office for decades and decades. That's why their office, of course, yield a long-term this and regaining this kind of nonsense, which is temporary as a South Sudan, as a nation. Okay? So if you see here, the copyright doesn't work for the SPLA families. The child born by the SPLA grow a child born by SPLA and is notorious and is a South Sudanese. A child born outside the SPLA and born outside the UN hand, as from this SPLA region or from this CAD region or from Khartoum, is a child born strictly is their head is a Sudanese. Okay, so they know that is a Sudanese, and then they have their mindset. Okay, because their parent, whatever their parent feel, they cannot, because for them, for their parents, they feel they are 100% block to come back to this area because SPLA possess the land and then use a gun particularly on our parents. So we, the grandchildren, we have the right to go to Sudan. If we go to Sudan, we know this is my land. He said, yeah, the gun was not used on me. I was a baby. I was not even a baby. I was born outside. And then they still, because of my DNA issues, related matters, and then this is my land. I can come there. I'm a child of this country, of this nation. So that's why is it right? I have my possessions, I have my idea, and then the idea I have there or ideology there should barely be relevant and then must be respected. So if it's not respected, as I said, the disagreement is the disrespect that originated because of the loopholes around the map. These maps, they are all loopholes. If you see there, the map we hold here is a straightforward, is a copyright policies. This is our copyright. This is what we manufactured, and then there is a map which I not show you. Okay, the is right there on Google. If you go google.com, okay, you can see that map right there on Google. Okay, the map we're showing you, unless you're Sudanese, you pay full attention with us, you understand really quest manina. Okay, kan ita ay asma quest manina, ita back there ay no map da fi Google. Rama Google, and then asal Google. Mata asal map de, mata ori map de ma quest. Okay, the map al quest ina sala, ina yaw sala, ina yaw al Sudanese de yaw sala. Okay, so ina yaw Sudanese des yaw sala mabda asan ina gamul sunu copyright, ina der copyright, ina der ajal dukur. Okay, ana ina der ajal kan fi o fi bukra kaman. Okay, fi gdam or fi wara. Okay, so zolle al fi juba de makwes, zolle gi use ina makwes ze naina mader. Okay, gamul lakabat al makwes hasan kan zol jamini min Khartoum jalle umoninak bigul awol kede na ina roa fi kenisa hasan na be bless nazre hasan be roa stakal le naina ita insunu zol der biwita hasan be silita hasan be roa mul sukul minita ita insunu hasan deru ita kede kuna ma Sudanese ita kun ajatane al mabiamul gurus leta, lakin gurus de be jakulu lemon zatu al kanita mul ita inu sunu musakil asa giamul de na uri leta kon de kulu musakil ta juba al nasal juba enak al juba de 50%. The Sudanese 50% de kulu nasal Osaka. Okay, then de manas de manasal dukuri. Okay, de manasal magas makalam. De nasal gukutu ajato mon fi Facebook inak asan be aino de kulu ajata movies. De kulu ajata al TikTok al kulu indi dom al kulu gi jur bara min gisum tanas nas kul nas gereja dom fi jog gisum tanas, lakin nasan gi jur dom del kulu bara min nas tanin asan mon der shino mon der kede takun losers, the big losers, ita magbe geni o ita mabe amul ay haja ita in shino. So fida ina yaw sala map da, lakin map tan de fi jwa Google kanita ina map to monde ina magi use, ina magi print map to monde, ina gi print map al awol de map al awol ita ino de map al awol ina gi use list copyright de ina hal deal Sudanese hal fijwa Uganda, Sudanese fijwa Kenya, or Sudanese fijwa Canada, or Sudanese fi ahmahal alindi roho al quest. asan nama karab ay haja lakin ina aino nas habu le nas sunu sunu haino aja de ma kwes ma naina and then mon gal kede kwes jama de bag der shib mal del kulu kede mon jerfi mahalal kwes minirak ina jerfi Uganda ina biga bada madrasa ina agar kwes ina kulu agar ma English ina rua fi Kenya ina ana derisu zat fi Kenya ana muderis lakini yal tanin tadinga o sunu begul kanin ina ali biga muderis del kanin no sul fi Canada zatu ita bejal digo ana my student o ana sil biga mahal del kulu ana gata ana reja ita kun fi Sudan umunu gul lena ina jeni umunu ya gul ita in sino de kul mokal makwes umunu ya gamul ita in sino so fi hajal kwes ita be aino de ita kan jamin kurum ita gi guide fi Juba o rilomon de ina hali indi mokwal kwes ma mokwal ma jules zol fi ajal tanet ina deru copyrights de ajat al magi juru zol tan bara o de kulube juru aizol fi mahal wide. As a nas beting, people may reasons, okay? So that they have a good solutions, they have a good ideas, those ideas they contributed to all come under one roof. That is who they could be. And then that's what the people are thinking. If you have the good copyright, and then those are the copyrights. But if you look at your nonsense, these are all original map, and then your nonsense are where at google.com. Okay, you are online there, you are a rebel. That's why if you see your contributions all alongside rebellisms and they are contributing too badly to Khartoum. So that's why if you look there, people want to yield this way, a peace of mind, and those peace of mind they want to yield there around Khartoum or wherever they live, around Juba, wherever, could be a better one. And then for those, you should provide a solutions and then come with the solutions. And then those solutions you provide should have at least evidence like this. If you have evidence, and then that could be appropriate. You go with a measure, and then you see the one that failed, don't use it. Damn it. Tell them this is fake, and then go for things that you can bring within the copyright, and then let them stay within the copyright. A copyright doesn't mean you can favor yourself. Let me eat more. Doesn't work that way. Okay, the whole measurement works like this. You get this much, or you never get it, but let your concentration to be wherever they really and really mean it. Those are the points you should consider. And then why shall people go with one map and then they're pretending to people that this is I'm now a whole map. You are not a whole map, carry whole map with you there. Those things that doesn't fit on the whole map, doesn't look any good. Because of the copyright, the rich person fit it once. They fit it once. You cannot cut the child hands off and then pretend that that child is looking original from the mother boards. It's not original no more. They have their favors, they have their ideologies, which is appropriate there, that they should be manipulating and that they should be using. You see? So that is based on your characters, that is based on your fulfillments, that is based on who and how and how. So if you look here, things that the Sudanese needs is the unities. The unities, and those unities may come from Uganda to Libya. That is where the unities is sown. And then they will have a peace of mind, and those peace of mind may yield the profits that they are really looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, all the protocols are observed at this criteria and at this moment. Actually, by me, that is Wayne Hassan as is it on. Kan tama bear of na school fi Equatoria Sudan. Bena de ana ma isum Wani James or Hisum Hassan. So the issue Sudanese. So kan bear of salakun ana fi Canada ita ma bek der geru asande ita be jabiwa na magrus asan ana bero again fake life, ana bero again fake life min munu inak ma jad al magi ben quest ajal fik dokor kutu inak dokor yana ana be sibulis ana bero follow ajad nonsense. What is the nonsense be followed for? You see, what sort of ideologies and what sort of stupidity? If you are not reasoning actually around Jubas, what is your stupidity actually there? You first put your map in front of you, not in front of you. Put with the whole map and then compare these statements we are telling you. You cannot even benefit out of those. You cannot even go and beg another money there. You know, you are creating a lot of homelessness around people. This is not safe things. People need to understand their life fully and then they want to fulfill what is available. Being a terrorist, even they need a lot of tactics, and those tactics come from the really owners, and those owners could be the peoples that are thoroughly convinced. If you are not convinced enough, and then that is not a fulfillment. So let me not really waste very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is just quite questions and answers regards to the areas that I just saw you, and that is could be the areas down here. This is the areas we are saying is down here, as you can see there. This is South Sudan, and this is Equatorial Sudan, and this is Khartoum right there. This is somewhere right there, Darfur. Okay, so this is all the Sudanese. If that is based on Sudanese, and then that is what you should obey, and then that's what you should agree upon. If you don't agree, and then don't bother those other guys who are saying here we are Sudanese, because you have a long-term disagreements, and then you know the Equatorian peoples, for them is okay. Those guys they are short tempers. They left the countries. They're in Uganda or they're in Kenya, or some of them, even some of us, in Canada. And then you may see some of my the muddies or the tribes I have. They're in Australia, they're in USA, they're in wherever Europe. They are not here. Some of those young guys, we went with them. We had the same schools. Those guys, they are all we are all doing research in foreign land. We are making money from foreign lands. We don't have the peace of mind because mafizol al beside zatu itama beagdere rasul zatu general sukere ruamul lana ajadak mafini. So we left them where? We left them all Africa. So if we left them all there, we are all caretakers, and then we know we are coming for those luxuries, and then we want those luxuries. If we want them, and then we should have a project, and those projects must be related or must be relevant to who and how we all belongs. That is why if you look, that is our concentrations, and those are the concentrations there. Of course, the purpose is to unite this area here as one. That is all it is. So hoping every individuals at least bear with me this one, and then they will literally and thoroughly understand that this is unifications which is under one.